Welcome to another episode of Integrative Mystic. Thank you for joining me and Vivian. I am excited to explore part 2 of a 3-part series that I am doing here on constructing our realities. This is the second part of a 3-part series. The first part was on building a foundation of self-worth. This is the second part, constructing our blueprints, creating our blueprints, and then we're going to have step 3, which is about action steps to create our dreams as realities, to construct our lives intentionally using the laws of the universe. And I am excited to share the blueprints part of this vision, rather, part of you. You have a blueprint. It's a blueprint part of you, blueprint part of me. It's a 3-part process that I received in a meditation. I received this vision, this idea in a meditation. So I am sharing it with you over 3 podcasts. So buckle up. We're going to explore blueprints. I want to remind you that you can find this podcast on my YouTube channel, Creative Psyche Studio. You can also find it on mindbodyspirit.fm, along with other amazing podcasters. So check out that podcast network. You can also find it on Spotify and iTunes. So check me out. Please leave a comment, leave a review. I'm so honored that you've joined me, and I want to welcome you into this space, my friend. It's the integrative mystical space. We are recognizing our multidimensional nature, and we are present in the here and now as the focus for this multidimensional, expansive consciousness that we all possess and express. Welcome. In part 1, oh, and by the way, as usual, during this podcast, I'm going to talk about what I'm going to talk about. And then at the end, I'm going to pull some cards and tune into the energy for the week ahead. In part 1 of this series of constructing your realities, I talked about how self-worth is the foundation for manifestation. Self-worth is the foundation for creating what you want to create intentionally. That is what I was shown in this vision. And if you think about it, worth attracts worth. I value myself. I attract people and situations who value me. If I appreciate myself and understand I have worth, I attract people who appreciate me and recognize my worth. There's 2 major contexts people mean when they use the term self-worth. 2 different meanings I have noticed when people say self-worth. One is intrinsic self-worth. I am worthy just by being a being. I am worthy just by being a human being. All life has worth. I am an extension of divine source. Therefore, I am worthy. I don't need to earn it. I can't lose it. I'm just worthy and valuable and precious being me. The other kind of self-worth, the other variation on this meaning that a lot of people use, in my experience, is having to do with your gifts, talents, and abilities. What are you, quote, worth? What can you do? And I think both are important to recognize. It's really important to recognize your gifts, talents, abilities, what you've worked for to develop, or what you're innately, what you were born with as far as gifts and abilities. I would suggest your innate worth is the most important thing to start with when establishing a foundation of self-worth. But I think both are important. So I just wanted to say that. And I also wanted to share, before moving on to the blueprint deep dive, is I have a client who manifested her dream job a couple of weeks ago, and I was very proud of her and excited for her. And I asked her, what did you do to manifest this, to co-create this into being? And do you know what she said? I believed in myself. I know who I am. I knew who I was, and I know my worth. And a year or 2 ago, she did not. And she developed her self-esteem, and she developed her self-worth, both intrinsically and owning her skills and abilities. And she connected this with why she was able to manifest her dream job at this time and show up in the interview with the energy and confidence to be able to perform, to impress the people interviewing her, and to just energetically manifest it. I just wanted to share that with you. This stuff works. Establish a foundation of self-esteem, self-worth. Do your affirmations and your meditations and your mirror work and your therapy and your spiritual work and your prayer and your whatever you do, whatever your practice is to develop your self-worth and to do the inner work to get to a place where you appreciate your value. Do it intentionally, do it regularly. That's my suggestion. And this stuff works. It's a foundation. Worth attracts worth. How can we draw to us and open the channels for experiencing appreciation from others when we don't appreciate ourselves? The law of the universe, law of attraction. Blueprint. This is part 2 of this process that Spirit showed me in this meditation. This is a process for manifestation, for co-creating your realities. And remember, manifestation, people are using that word. There's a lot of criticism in the metaphysical community with this word right now, rightly so. It's not about just getting stuff. It's about intentionally creating the fulfillment of your soul's desire. It's intentionally creating experiences here on this 3-dimensional earth plane, or maybe 4D or 5D as we're ascending, that are in alignment with your soul. And that may probably involve some degree of physicality, and it may involve some degree of money. That doesn't mean that you are shallow or self-centered or materialistic. It can be an expression of that, of course, if you're exploring that in a way that's perhaps out of balance with your soul and with your inner being. But you're already creating with your thoughts. Your thoughts are things. Your thoughts are already creating the experience that you're having. Why not choose them more intentionally? And I do believe that part of this is out of our control, that we're creating collectively, that we're creating with divine consciousness outside of our egoic mind. And it's more complex than simply you think something and it's there. But I just wanted to clarify that it's not all about creating stuff. Stuff can be a part of a positive experience, spiritual experience that your inner being wants to have, but it's about creating that experience and doing it with intention and aligning with your higher self so that you can create an experience in this life that is aligned with this higher place and not necessarily automatic, unconscious. I'm just going to let whatever thoughts come into my head be my focus. I'm going to let whatever happens be my focus. As I take control and tune in, clarify what it is I am being guided to create, then I'm able to focus on that more and align myself with that natural process, not control the whole process, but align myself to partner with this higher consciousness to move in the direction that this higher consciousness wants to move through with me. Does that make sense? Makes sense in my mind. It's so interesting to hear people talk about the law of attraction and manifestation because everyone has a different perspective. So thinking about the blueprint, once you have a desire, once you desire something, once you thirst for something, you're already on the way to creating that thing that you are thirsting for and desiring. Once you have a thought, your higher mind, another part of your consciousness that exists on the inner planes, automatically creates a blueprint for you. And what is a blueprint? What the heck is she talking about? I'm defining blueprint as holding the structure, the design, and the will of your goal or desire. It contains the steps needed to take in order to create your desire into being. as well as the actual design of what you want, as if it is already formed. It's your creation in a way you can conceptualize it more deeply. It helps you bring it into reality because it is a thought form. Another way of thinking of this is as you think about something intentionally, a thought form is already created in the inner planes, and it has a consciousness of its own. And the inner planes, the astral planes, different people call them different things, are the vibrational environment in which the thoughts can take root and really begin a process of turning into a physical or lived experience here in the three-dimensional world. So it's already in motion once you clarify that thought. And it's important to be able to release it as well and to allow that process that naturally happens to happen. The vibrational thought form is already vibrating and sending out waves and vibrations that are finding the path of least resistance in order to successfully create as an experience what you have envisioned, what you have imagined, what you have clarified mentally. So it appears without trying. In the inner planes, it's unfolded already. And there's a process by which the vision and that vibration on the inner planes goes through various phases and then finds its way into this material world. So you can actually help this process by activating that thought form, by allowing your mind to invest energy and invest belief in that blueprint. You can help to facilitate this process of manifestation by engaging with the blueprint, asking your higher self, what is it that I need to do in order to co-create this as reality? You can activate the blueprint energetically by playing music, visualizing, charging a crystal, speaking your affirmations, drawing a picture of it, writing down the realities, also known as scripting. The key is allowing the consciousness of the blueprint to unfold. And the key is also, as you're doing any sort of action or ritual or activity to activate it, to understand that you're activating it emotionally, you're activating it vibrationally. So whatever you're doing, let that be something that activates the feeling of it as already manifested. This is how you can align with this blueprint. This is how you can align with this process of unfolding. And if you like to create your own blueprint right now, take a deep breath and just acknowledge something that you want to create in your life. Ask your higher self to show you the blueprint for your desire or goal. Notice what images, words, senses, thoughts, or feelings unfold. You may find what your higher self shows you is different than what you thought you wanted. Perhaps that's what you expected. That's okay too. You may sense within the blueprint details about what you wanted that will help you understand how to co-create it, how to manifest it. You may see, experience, know, have an understanding of what challenges, what obstacles, what changes you might need to overcome, what obstacles you might need to overcome, what changes you might need to make in order to manifest it. You might get a beginning little inkling of what step you might take to begin to hasten this manifestation in the here and now. Release it by going about your day and knowing it is working for you. Take a deep breath. Know that your blueprint is doing its job and allow it to do its job. Recognize you have your job to do, which is getting yourself into a place of self-appreciation, appreciating life, and opening yourself to being guided to the next steps. We will explore the next steps in part 3, taking action steps. And I'm excited to explore that in our next in the next podcast. I will probably have an interview in between this podcast and step 3, but in that next podcast we'll explore more grounding it and steps on the practical levels to take to manifest your goals, dreams, desires. I'm gonna shift gears now and then pull some cards for the week ahead. We've got a new moon. Nice. So one moment as we shift gears. I am pulling a few cards for the week ahead, tuning into the collective energy for the week of June 5th, 2024. And whenever you're tuning into this podcast, notice if the message resonates for you, even if it's at a different time. And if it feels like it is, it's meant for you. Okay, so I'm going to pull a few cards for this coming week. We've got the new moon in Gemini. Love that mental, creative, musical Gemini. I'm sensing the energy for this week. It feels complex. It feels like there's a lot of complexity and seeing the intricacies, that's a hard word to say, intricacies of life, of the universe, of ideas, seeing more complexity in what we're doing. And this helps us to make better decisions as we're more aware. Okay, these are the cards I pulled: the Tower, the World, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Moon. Okay, tuning into this energy. And let me pull messages from the Spirits of Nature Oracle. We've got star navigation, stars, plural, navigation, excuse me. Yeah, so it's very celestial spread here with the moon, the worlds, stars. So I feel like with the Tower, folks, I feel like the message is allowing new people to come into our life. I feel the Tower is helping us to regenerate some energy here. And the Tower, we need the Tower with change, with positive change. We need death in order for rebirth. We need an ending in order for a beginning. So I feel like with the Tower, there's a lot behind the gateway and the door here. There's new information coming to light, new people, new experiences. And so this might be part of the revelation, part of the thunderstorm of positive change, realizing the Tower can be about realization. So I feel like the Tower is speaking to us about understanding new potentials and opening ourselves to positive change. And Gemini is about change. And I'm getting the feeling angelically as I'm speaking. I do feel like Archangel Raphael is with us this week, this new moon week. And I feel like Archangel Raphael is helping to ground us. There's been a lot of chaos, and I want to go back to the Tower now. There's been a lot of chaos. So many of my clients have been, and myself, and so many people I know, just here, there, everywhere, have had trouble sleeping. And I feel there is some volatile earth energy. I feel like there's a kind of rocking the boat, shaking us up, moving the energy to allow change to come in. And it feels like this is part of a circadian rhythm disruption, perhaps, for many people. but I feel like this is part of things are moving and changing, and doorways are opening to allow positive change. And there is a disturbance in the force, but in a positive way. So I feel like Archangel Raphael comes in, he helps us to ground, he helps us to center, he helps us to release energies from our aura that are not helpful to us, other people's energies. You can call on Raphael to help you to do this. And I feel like he's also working with Uriel here. I see Archangel Uriel is helping us to embrace change, and Uriel is helping us to align ourselves with our higher mind and bigger ideas, and helping to guide us through the changes that want to happen in our life. The World is the challenge card in this week's spread. So I feel like I'm seeing those stars in this particular Robin Wood Tarot deck. There's stars in the World card, and then there's stars navigation coming out with the Nature Oracle. So I feel like with this card, I'm feeling the guides want to celebrate our renewal, that there's a renewal happening globally, that there are people and energies resurfacing after they have been dormant, and there's a new renaissance, rebirth, coming to life, resilience that is happening collectively. And to be able to recharge ourselves in that energy means um, moving with it and getting clear about what you want. This is a time of stepping through another gateway, and it's important to not take the past with us, to leave the past behind, and to align ourselves with the stars, align ourselves with what we really want to create in the future. So as you're walking through this gateway, align yourself with change intentionally, align yourself with this gateway of resurrection and rebirth, and ask yourself, what is it that I want to create moving forward? What is it that I'm, maybe an old story I keep telling myself I need to leave behind, or not, um, what can I let go of from the past? What can I appreciate from the past that I want to take with me in the present? And what can I let go of? Knight of Pentacles is our guidance card for this week. And here comes the grounding. I feel like with the angels helping us to ground in this time of perhaps change and seemingly instability, but underneath opportunities for growth. But I feel like the Knight of Pentacles offers grounding for us this cycle. And I feel like be careful about oversharing. Be careful. This is, I feel like, a good time to use discernment about sharing and your words and communication. You might want to keep some things to yourself, not overshare. It's good to be more conservative. I feel like Spirit is guiding us to allow the words to come in harmony with our heart and soul, and not, um, over passionate or over unconscious and automatic in how we're communicating. But I feel like it's also a time when people want to hear our words. If you are someone who has got a message to share, your words are important, and this is a time to share your message. So this week, allow your words to be words of love and inspiration, of positive change. Use words carefully this week, this cycle, and people will really be affected in a powerful way as we choose our words with intention. Before I get to the final card for the tarot, I want to look at this stars navigation card from the Messages from the Spirits of Nature Oracle by Dr. Stephen Farmer. So when I'm looking at the stars card, I feel like Spirit is watching us and wants us to know that we are being watched. I feel like the message here is our ancestors are watching us, our star guides, our angels are watching us, the spirits of nature are watching us, and there's more here than meets the eye. I feel like the spirit teams are helping us open up again to the complexity, the complexity of your life right now, the complexity of globally the situation, the complexity of your personal situation. Allow a new understanding of the complexity of how the pieces fit together to unfold in your mind. Allow your higher mind to connect with this collective expansion of consciousness and get more information that can help you to uncover the pieces of understanding, the pieces that have been unknown heretofore in something, some situation in your life that's going to help you to knowing the unknown and seeing the complexity and seeing some details and seeing things you haven't seen before will help you this week potentially as you're opening to this to understand how to put the pieces together in a more successful way to move forward without as many obstacles. So pay attention to seeing details and unseen shades, unseen intricacies that you haven't seen before in a situation, in a person, in some area of your life, in yourself. And this can help you to align more with the path of least resistance towards manifesting your goal. It can help you see someone more clearly or see what you need to do in a situation. I hope that makes sense. The moon is our final result card. It's very celestial spread this week. I love it. So this week, this cycle, this new moon cycle, I feel like the guides are helping us clean up some old energy, release some old energy, and really get grounded as we prepare for this new energy to come in. I feel like there's new stories wanting to be told. There's new stories wanting to be lived. There's people, places, and adventures that have yet to be experienced that are wanting to come in. And right now is a time when we're allowing the past to fade. And we're doing this by grounding ourselves in taking care of ourselves. We're grounding ourselves in understanding new opportunities are coming for us and not getting stuck in the old quagmires of the past and not taking the past so seriously or allowing it to overshadow the present and the future. So the moon, it's guiding us to just release what no longer serves you and tune into your intuition, tune into that lunar energy, your inner moon, the moon goddess, the moon mother, and understand how you seeing the intricacies, I'm having trouble with that word. So let's choose a new word. Looking at the details and complexities, there we go, can help you to really latch on to the present, really ground yourself in the vision for the future, take care of yourself, take care of your body, and opening yourself in this time of change to the preparations and the foundation in this way for the new amazing experiences and adventures and joys and abundance and love that want to come in through this window. Allow new change to happen. And we allow that to happen by opening ourselves to change, right? Letting go of what we're holding on to, the past that we need to let go of. So ground yourself, open yourself to change this week, my friend. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Check out my website, creativepsychestudio.com. Psyche is spelled Psyche, creativepsychestudio.com. I have information about my podcast here, my YouTube channel, my upcoming classes, dreams and tarot and journaling and intuitive development, multidimensional gallery readings I'm doing in person here, there, and everywhere. So check out my website. I also have my Facebook page and Instagram if you want to check out me on social media, Creative Psyche. It's Creative Psyche Studio. And again, check out mindbodyspirit.fm for other amazing podcasters who have other interesting shows to share with you. I'm excited. I'm going to be interviewing someone on my show I think you're going to find very interesting, who's written a book about angels and psychic children. I have other guests planned. So please continue to fly with me on this journey, this multidimensional integrated mystic journey. I hope you have a beautiful week, my friend, and get some grounding, get some rest, open yourself to change, create that blueprint and let it go and let the magic unfold. I will see you next group video or session. Take care.